Let me hypnotize you again.
So, hey guys, welcome to the Challenge Show. And today we have the guest on our show, and he is from Sweden. I I don't know. You are originally from Germany, right?
I'm German and I live in Sweden. Yes, exactly. Correct.
So as this show is all about challenging yourself, and we talk about the like backstory is super important. So for like you can you give me a 2 or 3 minute version of your backstory? What things you do? What were your challenges in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. I currently work with hypnotherapy. So I'm a hypnotherapist and an NLP trainer, neuro linguistics programming, and work as a coach for companies and even private people. And I have not done this fully for many years. I've worked in this field for many, many years, about 30 years, but never only that. I always had, can say I have two legs. I always had two different businesses. When I started, I had a store in Germany, and when I moved to Sweden, I became a project manager in telecommunication, built mobile towers, and so on. So, at the same time doing this, all the money comes from that. I worked as a coach and hypnotherapist at the side, but I decided no, I can't do this anymore because I'm lying to myself, because this coaching, helping people, breaking through, making people free, helping them to become their true self, live a life of their futures. What is me? What I really want? And that is actually very challenging, because when you have these project management jobs, so you have a store, you have a stable income, and it's a very simple job, simple and simple, but compared to really breaking through and helping people and finding clients, it's different.
Mm.
So
So let's go in depth. So this session is all about talking. So I have a few pointers. So first
uh,
thing that usually entrepreneurs face is self-doubt. So we'll go about in the flow. So initially we will talk about the self-doubt and some limiting beliefs that as a well, I'm not a 100%. I also have some limiting beliefs of my own. So I would be sharing them also, so you can provide the solution. And at the end, we will talk about the hypnotherapy and what are the misconceptions and how can you connect with the Alexander after this session. Yeah.
yes.
So let's start our session. So what happens is, as an entrepreneur, so we are constantly invested in our thing. So whatever thing we are doing. So for me, it's content creation or my services that I deliver to clients, the copywriting. So I'm heavily invested in that. So I have bought camera, this mic setup, or like my internet bills. So I'm heavily invested in terms of money, time, and the mental energy is going in that. So sometimes we have kind of a self doubt. Yeah, will I able to do this? It's also appears when we set a massive target, uh, uh, like making $100,000 per year or a million, reaching $1 million mark. So yeah. So what's your take on that? On self
For
doubts?
the yes, um, I of course I've suffered through those as well, and sometimes I catch myself going in there, and I can understand completely where you're coming from. Uh, I think it is like this. Self-doubt means we are in our brain, in our ego thoughts. This ego that tells us, like, we are not good enough, or where should the clients come from? And it can build up a gigantic mountain in front of our eyes, so we don't really see where we are going anymore, because we just listen to these negative thoughts. What I say is like this: deep in me, and I think it's the same for you, Kishore, deep in me, I feel like this is what I do is a calling. It's like it's an inspiration that comes to me and tells me this thing, helping people, is what you're supposed to do. And if I have this, and here it comes, if I have this desire and this calling deep inside of me, I believe there must be a way, because I don't believe the universe God, whatever you want to call it, is so cruel and lets you have an inspiration and a desire, and there's no way to get there. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I believe that I feel my inspirations, and all I actually need to do is act on those inspirations. Just follow them and trust. Always trust. And I have did different strategies. I followed other people who told me you need to do marketing and you need to do this and that and this and that and this. And I did that, and it didn't work for me, because I feel like it's better to just relax. Remove your negative thoughts, relax, meditate, feel what is really important, why you are doing that, get into the inspiration and follow the inspiration. And then I am sure you will get out of much more than you have paid in microphone and equipment and so.
Yeah.
Because I believe you are doing it because you have a passion. And I think that is what I feel when I talk to you, when I see you smile, when I see your energy. You have this passion, what you're doing. And I think this is what people will attract to you. You just need to open up, and that is what you're doing, so people can see that.
Yeah.
And those who are supposed to become your clients, they will come to you. But this trust, I think this trust needs to be trained a bit, needs to know, okay, if this is my calling, I just have to trust it, that it will work out.
Yeah.
And then you can deal with self-doubt much better if you follow this trust.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about, so I follow one guy named Russell Brunson. So he talks about having a belief and the call of contribution for the entrepreneurs. So having belief that you can do it. So I'm actually working on a book also. So the first piece of the book, the first few chapters are fully dedicated to having a belief, getting obsessed with your goal. And as Tony Robbins also say, where the focus goes, okay.
Energy flows.
Yeah.
Energy flows.
Yeah. So that's kind of a thing I'm also working on. So I hope it might be super clear for you guys also. So as Alexander talked about the self-doubt. So as what's my take on it, I will. What things I work on is having a good belief system. So supposedly I want to do stage presentations. So I'm super fearful for that. Earlier I used to be super fearful for that. Sometimes I used to think about what people would say about me. What if people ask me random weird questions? So I had a bad experience in my college days. So one of the listeners I was doing a stage presentation back then. So some guy stood up and asked a weird question that I was not able to answer. So this thing, the thing is constantly holding us back. That's kind of I want to go in the next section of this show. So it's all about limiting beliefs. So I talk about this incident. So I also shared about the incident of my childhood with you personally. When I was not able to speak on stage, I got stuck on the stage. So there are some limiting beliefs of us that are holding us back, and we know they are holding us back, but we are not able to do something out of it. So what's your take on that?
Most of what my understanding is now, this is maybe a bit strange for some people, but this is my experience and my experience with all my clients, that most limiting beliefs come from emotions that we have suppressed in our childhood or early on. And what do I mean by that? It's something like this. Can I tell a story from a client to make a point?
Yeah.
Thank you. I had a client calling me from London about smoking. This is a very typical thing hypnotherapists deal with. What those people who smoke don't know, it's not about smoking. It's not about an addiction. So she called me. She wanted to stop smoking. She smoked for 14 years. She started when she was 14. And she thought it's all about addictive behavior. What we found out is she didn't start smoking because she wanted to become addicted to cigarettes. She started smoking because she wanted to be cool. And she wanted to be cool because she felt lonely and misunderstood. So there was a feeling behind this belief, I need to become cool so other people accept me. And then we worked with this feeling that was behind it, feeling alone, misunderstood. And we found out that when she was a little child, she was at the Italian restaurant and she wanted to order something that was a big people's dish, and her father told her, no, don't eat that, you are already so big, you are not supposed to eat that. And this, from her father telling her that, made her so sad. It felt for her like her father was hitting her, and this was a feeling she didn't express in that situation. So she pressed the feeling of being sad. And we removed this sadness. It's like you open a box and release this dragon, this feeling out of it. Let it just out for 5, 6, 7 seconds. Just feel it just out. And at that moment, she found back to herself, and her mind became blank. All these negative thoughts about not being loved, not being heard, vanished. She stopped smoking. She stopped having bad relationships. All because she released the feelings. So my belief is that many limiting beliefs, even my own limiting beliefs, when I think, oh, where does the money come from? Where are the clients come from? Where are they actually? What is it actually going on? Maybe it's a feeling behind that I didn't get what I wanted, like love from my parents or so, when I was a child, and I didn't express it. So I put it away. And this means I don't have this energy. If we say all feelings are kind of an expression of your life energy, I don't have this part of my energy available. And this makes me think all these negative stuff. So I go back in hypnotherapy, I release these feelings, and I work on myself all the time. I've done for 30 years now. And there's always some small scraps I can find and remove to get on and get on. It is a process. But most of these limiting beliefs, in my belief, are based on emotions that we have suppressed and that we created, like the ego, these negative thoughts in that moment to protect us, to go down and feel these feelings. And that means that most mindset coaching will really not help as much if you don't release your emotional energy and free yourself first.
Yeah.
I hope that was a long story now, but I hope it made my point clear.
Yeah. So what thing I do with my limiting beliefs is I pick up a journal. I write down what is the limiting belief. Point number one, whatever thing is, and down below, I leave few spaces and write down why this is not so effective. So I used to believe that I'm too young. I'm trying to achieve a lot more things that older guys also not able to do. So it was my limiting belief. So I talked to few guys and then realized it's not about being young or too old. It's about the process and the journey. Yeah.
And feeling good about yourself at the same time.
Yeah. So I generally write it down, and so I would give the contact details of Alexander at the end. So you can connect back with him regarding any other, like if you have some limiting beliefs or self doubts, you can have a chat with the messenger, or he also has a Facebook group. So I would be dropping the link down below. So let's move forward. So uh, if you are aware, we are totally addicted to these kind of devices, the mobile phones, the laptop, the iPads, or whatever. So what happens is here in Asia. So if you visit Asian countries, any Asian country, I don't know about Western side because I have not traveled there, not Europe also. So I don't know about there. So what happens is if you are visiting in the metro or the subway or any other thing, so most people are like looking down below and constantly uh, and like even in our lunch, even if we are having lunch or dinner with the family, like most of the people have the phone aside and looking over there. So what's your take about this digital distractions? And this is the most common problem of all entrepreneurs. uh, for me also,
Yes.
it was a biggest problem because my life revolves around digital thing. I need to stay connected all over the internet. So yeah.
Yeah, so for the funny about this is I saw a GIF or a gimmick once where back a doctor working with bad backs was saying, "I'm so happy all these people have mobile phones now because this means we have so much more work to do in a couple of years because everybody walks like this all the time and it goes into the back." Um, it is the same in Europe. If you walk through a city in Germany, Sweden, or wherever, people are in their mobile phones. What I really find sad, and I'm, let's say it's like this. I can't say I'm not to blame as well. I do it. I do it also. So when couples sit in a restaurant, going out and sit in a restaurant, both of them do this
Yeah, yeah,
while they are together in the restaurant,
yeah,
then you know, oh my god, this thing really has taken over. And the I'm not so really sure what you can do about it so much. If you feel like it really taken over and you feel addicted, then of course I would say, try hypnotherapy. Mm, there are two things for me. I use this because I work.
yeah, yeah,
Many of my clients are on social media, and I had to shop before. So I had a real store in Germany, and my customers came to me. Now my clients are in there in the social media. So
yeah,
I have to be there because I was in my store 8 hours a day. Now I have to be where my customers are, my clients are. So in that way, I can't really do much about it. It's the world we are living in. What I think is try not, and try is a bad word because try can mean failure, but try not to do every fun in your life in there. Try to go out sometimes, breathe fresh air, and meet people in real life, because meeting people, friends in
yeah,
real life, and
yeah,
meeting
yeah,
new
yeah.
people, it's a different. There's so much more happening. But if it's your work, um, there's not much we can do about
Yeah,
it. We
yeah,
have to
yeah, yeah.
accept that social media has taken over. But if it's taking over even your private life, then I would say just start with having 1 hour a day without, consciously, as consciously not touching it. When you can't do that for 1 hour a day, then you know something is not so
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
Or maybe you pick one weekend day and just be with your family or friends. Play a board game, go out, go hiking, do
yeah.
something
Yeah, this
else.
thing I like about Europe because like I talked to few friends in Germany, Netherlands. So in Germany, I think there is a like most of the stores are closed on Sundays. Is it right? Yeah. So this
Yes,
concept is
yes.
not here in like most of
Uh,
the Asian countries. So it's all about waking up, going to work, coming back, eating, sleeping, and like the normal routine, and again repeating the same thing next morning. So this kind of a routine is there.
yes,
And some countries like Japan, the work culture is too heavy, and people get into the depression and
yeah.
the other problems arises. So what's your take on
Yeah.
that? Because I personally have gone through that phase, the sad phase of my life, where I used to feel I only have digital friends, nobody to talk to me, and it was super. I used to feel super lonely. What used to happen is I used to wake up, and that time it was around when my all businesses got shut down due to the COVID thing because they were offline, and I had a huge revenue loss, and like my accounts were in negative, my bank balance was in negative. So that was a kind of a sad phase where when people left me. So my co-founders, the people who used to Like I used to enjoy doing the work with them. They left me. My team members left me. So I was back to the zero again. So this was a kind of a phase. It's not too serious for most of the guys. So I talk about my business failure. So for some people it might be a breakup, or some people it might be loss of a loved one. It could be their father or mother, or some people it might be not achieving any career goal. Supposedly they are constantly working for a promotion in the job, uh, or like trying to achieve any good target, so they are not able to do so. So what's your take on this? So like people, I also fall in that trap of being lonely, and I used to be get separated from the crowd, and still today I only have 4 or 5 friends that I don't talk too much, but I'm just connected with them. It might be like 10, 15 days, or in the month we talk.
Mm. You know Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow
Yeah,
Rich.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, of course you know. And he came up with this Masterminds Alliance or mastermind groups. This is what I actually have and work with. This is a group of people, 6, 7, 8 people who know me, who know what my goals are. Like what you said before, you write down your goals, you write down your doubts. These people know all this stuff from me, and
Yeah.
I know all their stuff. And once a month or twice a month, and if we're able once a week, it's a bit of different. We have an online meeting for about 1.5 hours and do these mastermind meetings, and these helps a lot. And this is how it works. Let's say you have 6, 7 people and you call in. I always start all the meetings with a short meditation. So everybody comes from different places. Some comes from out of the toilet, some comes out of the office, some comes out of the bed. Everybody comes from a different place. So making a short meditation priming, or just a short just sit and calm in. You feel that you're sitting in a chair or wherever you are, so you break out of wherever you come from, and then you have focus on this group. And then the thing is like this: the first person in the group, like you would say, a challenge you have. You have 2 minutes to talk about the challenge you have, and then everybody else in the group will serve you with all the ideas coming up to help you with your challenge. There will not be any discussion, there will not be any questions. You have 2 minutes, and then everybody has 1.5 minutes to tell you all the good things, what you can do with this challenge. And then the next person in the group talks about her challenge, and then we serve that person, and this is how it goes around. And then the group finishes, and we have a Facebook group together where we can write and chat and so on, and these really make you going. And if you have good people and you trust them, they can even become your accountability partners, so they check on you once a week to see, Alexander, how is it going? You decided to start a YouTube channel or whatever it is. So, hey, Kishore, what is going on? You decided to make interviews, and they don't question you, just check on you, so you feel you're accounted for. Someone is there to help you. This is very, very helpful. This is, of course, not the same that having friends and meeting with friends.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is a
yeah.
different type of friends, but I think for many people who listen to your talks and to your interviews, maybe most of them maybe are entrepreneurs or have their own company. This is a good idea to have to grow together.
Yeah.
And even if you are employed, this could still help in many areas. So this is how I deal with it. Because otherwise I would say I'm happy that my wife is my best friend. Otherwise I would be really lonely.
So what things I did after that phase is I started living with my parents. So I came back home from a different city, came back to the home and started living with the parents, spent a lockdown time with them. And I got like my confidence back, like I got the energy back. Yeah, I want to do something. That's how this content creation started. That's why I enrolled into that videos challenge. That's why I am able to talk to Alexander. So this is where the journey got. So I had my own downfalls. So just become I became nobody. So I'm again wanted to reach back to that level and go beyond that level of things I have achieved in my life. So so how I dealt with is like coming back to my parents' home, and I'm still living with them. So what happens is you constantly talk with them. So my parents are also very friendly. They talk to me, even if like we used to have a conversation over the food or any other random topic, whatever is coming through. So that's kind of thing I am tried out. So other thing, I enrolled in few coaching programs. So there is the kind of accountability thing. So that's the thing. I I mostly share my daily updates, what things I'm working on, what things are not working. So I that's why I started one another group. So you are also part of that VC Continuum. So
Yes.
so it's all about making accountability, and so I have made few friends through like internet only. So I talk to them. So they are in the different part of the world. Some are in US, some are in Netherlands. So we talk about business, what things you are working on. So I talk about my goals. So I'm writing a book. So my friend Alex, he we schedule a call for every Sunday or alternate Sunday. So he talks about little bit, what's your progress, what things you are working on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So
So,
nice.
yeah, so this was my solution on like my problems. So like in life you have to figure it out, the solutions. You can't be constantly cribbing about my problem is biggest, becoming a victim. So like victim mindset, like we develop a victim mindset that everything is happening to us only. We are the our external environment is controlling ourselves. So yeah. So I hope this was too long explanation for the loneliness and the self doubt and limiting beliefs. So next section of the show is all about what Alexander's is specialist in. So so the first thing, like he is a hypnotherapy practitioner. So what happens is most of the guys are thinking about the hypnotherapist with his pendulum and doing a different things. So so what's your take on that? Is it true, or like what are the common beliefs of the like as per the movies and the shows people watch is all about that image only?
So many people who hear the word hypnosis, hypnotherapy, they think about stage hypnosis and some Hollywood movies where someone is hypnotized and then steals stuff or whatever. And the stage hypnosis is where people make strange sounds or dance around when a special command word. I've never done this. I've never worked in this
There is
field.
there is one Netflix documentary called Push, where the person hypnotizes the like group of 30-40 people, and he they don't commit a murder, but he's creating a mental image of committing a murder, and eight like most of the 28 guys does commit a murder in that mental state. So that's kind of a image that Netflix show and the other shows are giving to the common public.
Yes. Yes, this is I've never done it that way. I can understand why it works. I can even explain why it works, but this is not hypnotherapy. The word therapy is in it, and I'm an NLP trainer, so I actually train and certify other people in this. So if I would run around and make fun of this in that way, I couldn't take myself seriously anymore. And this is not what I'm born to do. And but most people have this image when they
Yeah.
think of hypnosis. So one question I get is there a risk that I never come back? And I said, come back from where? Yeah, from being in this hypnosis state. And then I explain it's the alpha wave in your brain. And when you sleep, you go even deeper. And have you ever slept before? And most of my clients say, yes, I have slept before. So I say, okay, then you went even deeper than what we are doing in hypnotherapy. So yes, of course, everybody comes back. And I've never had a client who have fallen asleep during a session. So it's not how it works. It is a mental relaxation where you are completely conscious. You can afterwards tell exactly what we were doing, but you are in total contact with your unconscious mind. That means it is easier for you to imagine, it is easier for you to let memories come up. And the big difference between these two, being conscious in this mental relaxed state, is you're not actively all the time thinking, trying to control, trying to check out, analyze. So you're just very relaxed and just work with your imaginations and your feelings. So you're much more in your feelings and imaginations. And to do that, to get you there, I help my clients to go down into this state. And then first, when I feel you're there, we start therapeutical work. And that's the teamwork. And we even talk to each other while sitting in this state. There are, of course, people who are not willing or not wanting to go deep, and then it will not work. That is often when people really want to have a mind, they want to control every situation, they can't just let go, or they feel very afraid of being criticized. So I had clients who were sitting there, and I tell them, go deeper and deeper and relax even more. And they think, how do I go? Do I do it like this, or do I? And then they think too much, and then they can't relax. So it is not some strange magic. It's not black magic. It's not it's a mental relaxation. It's like mindfulness, what is for the body, just for the brain. It's like meditation, and I think most of your listeners and yourself have done it. It's like daydreaming.
Yeah.
Have you daydreamed before, Kishore?
Yeah.
You can daydream with open eyes, and this is daydreaming
So I
with
have
closed
one more
eyes.
problem. So what happens is, it used to happen in my school days. I used to pick up pen and look outside window and doodle around on my notebook. So this happens with me, used to happen with me in my school days and college days. So I used to daydream and doodle around.
And this is a hypnotic state. This is like being in this state. My goal is to work with feelings, because as I said before, my experience is that most people's problems are based on suppressed feelings. So my goal is to go down and release these suppressed feelings, and then I know the ego and the thoughts and all this negative talk will vanish. That has to do with that self-doubt, bad behaviors, afraid of charging enough money, and there's so many different issues I work with. But I feel also that these misconceptions become less and less. So somehow through that, this, I call it a wave of esoteric that moves over the earth, like started with books, The Secret and Law of Attraction, and more influencers work with personal development. It's everybody talks about personal development. So even hypnosis is more and more accepted. But if you just see it as a guided daydream, a guided mental relaxation, then they are good to go, and you can remove all the other misconceptions. Is this an answer to your question?
Yeah. So other question I have is, what things, like what kind of results you can bring for the listeners of the show So it could be addiction or the self-doubt. So what kind of results you generate for your clients and what kind of a work you do. So I think you generally do one-on-one sessions or a group coaching. I'm not aware of that because earlier we had a one-on-one session. And how can people connect with you?
Yeah, I have a homepage. It's my name, alexanderherold.se,
So I would be
for Sweden.
tagging you in
Yes,
this post and dropping the link of your Facebook group. And
yes,
yeah,
yes. My Facebook group, my homepage,
yeah.
and I can give you all the other. But about the results, so I on my homepage there are about 30 videos from clients from all over the world, and some are in Swedish, but most are in English, about all the different areas I worked with. I worked with people who have. Today, I had a client who had pain in her stomach for 7 years. The doctors had no idea what it is. She tried everything. She tried everything, and she always had pain. She is on painkillers all the time. But after the session, she felt it was like when it is a 8 on a 1 to 10, she felt like a 2. And she told me she hadn't had so little pain in years. So I can work with pain from the body. I work, of course, with addictions, smoking. I work with phobias. I had a client who was in her house for 5 years because she was afraid meeting other people. And after just one session, and a session, you never know how long a session is, 60 to 120 minutes, as 1 to 2 hours. And I don't charge by an hour because I charge by results. I want my clients to have a result. So after one session, I told her, okay, go out now into the supermarket or go into a coffee. And she did. And she sent me pictures. And she had no problem whatsoever. She was completely free of all these. She had as really anxiety, strong as it was gone. So I work with phobias, and I work with people who want to lose weight or are eating sweets and sugar stuff all the time and want to be healthier. This is always some behavior based on, mostly it's about one simple question: do you love yourself? And if you can't just right out say yes, then you know there's something going on, and this is what I work with. I get people to say to themselves in 1-2 sessions, I love myself. And I know why I came to this planet, and I can now live a good life. And then they can apply all this mindset coaching. And then of course I work with people who have, there are no really big problems, but they maybe are procrastinating or not charging enough, or their business is not going well. And it's also something in the subconscious mind that is not allowing them to break through. So I work with that. And I have 3 different areas. I work one-on-one, like we did.
Yeah.
And I work with companies, mostly in Sweden, because mostly it's a physical meeting. I have not tried so much online, but this is an education. I give a whole company, and I hypnotize a whole project group to go into experience a day when everything is just perfect. Just imagine that, and then integrating that feeling into the whole base of the company, so they experience this day by day by day and can work out of that feeling. This is the second I do, as I have companies building a better and happier work culture. And third thing is a program that I will start soon. I call it, I didn't come up with a good name, so I just called it Live Business Mastery, where I help people under 3 months. And the first month is hypnotherapy, freeing the emotional capital, the emotional power. The second is integrating a mental power. And the third is learning to become a good leader and business person. Also, see, even talking about numbers and how to get your business to the next level, but also how to lead your group, how to lead your employees, and so on. So these are the three areas. It's all about change. It's all about freeing people.
Yeah. So if you guys have some kind of problem in your life, and you know there is some kind of a problem within me or something external reason, and you are stuck at a certain point, just feel free. Can people reach out through Messenger to you, or can I, uh, or email?
Sure.
What's the method? So you can,
Messenger, email,
yeah.
whatever.
So I will be giving the contact details of Alexander and his Facebook group in the comment section. And that's it for today's session. And I hope this was session super valuable for you guys. And tomorrow we have another guest who is talking about the placebo effect. And if you have time, Google Google placebo effect. What is it? And we will talk about it and how entrepreneurs